It's a wonderful Friday morning, and you are most welcome once again to our STEM series. Good morning, good evening, and good evening, depending on where in the world you're joining us from. It's an absolute pleasure to have you all here today. So my name is Estella Hilda Anaman, and I'm the coordinator for American Corner Abuba. I'll be your moderator for this session. So American Spaces provides access to current and reliable information about the United States through book collections, internet access, events, and activities for everyone. So today we are diving into a crucial aspect of modern work efficiency where collaboration is key. Finding the right tools can make all the difference. And we're going to learn this by exploring the topic unlocking collaboration-free and low-cost project management tools. So facilitating this session is Stephen Maltodonko. So he is a trained telecommunications engineer who has a good understanding of ICT. As an entrepreneur, Malto is the founder of Steve Dog Limited, a tech startup. He's an avid free and open source software advocate trainer, leading over 8 years of Software Freedom Day celebrations in Ghana. He's one of the youth coordinators for Internet Governance Forum Ghana, a member of Internet Society Chapter, Alliance for Affordable Internet, and also involved with volunteering community work. So during this session, we would love to hear from you. Please type all your comments or questions in the comment box below, and they'll be so well addressed. Thank you so much for staying with us. And now I'll hand it over to Stephen Maltodonko.
All right, thank you. Thank you once again. And then good morning from Ghana, where I'm presenting from. It's nice once again to share the little knowledge as it is I have. As rightfully said, today we'll be diving into a topic that has come up a couple of times. And we deemed it right to be able to just put a quick presentation together to address some of these challenges that our members or colleagues, some of the participants are actually really coming to the space of the American Corner, so that the broader in numbers can also benefit from this same presentation. So pardon me in just a second whilst I share my presentation for the day. So as rightly said, my name is Stephen Maltodonko. I would be your presenter for today. Kindly feel free to share all your questions in the chat section. And I would attempt the word I always use in answering the question as it is you share with us. So kindly confirm if you can see my screen, Estelle.
So we can see your screen.
Awesome. So I'll be helping us unlock some of the cost-effective tools as it is we can use in project management, in any project as it is we deem to be able to have done, whether it's remote, physical, whether it's a marketing project, whether it's a developmental project, coding or whatsoever as it is we have. So before we delve into today's presentation, I would want to set certain record straight or place certain disclaimers that this presentation is not here to make anybody an expert in projects management tools or its applications. And then also it's not supposed to make anybody feel they are experts in AI or become an expert in AI after listening to these presentations. And then does not also make the listener or the participants a project manager or a PMP as it is we may be able to, if you need same, why I deemed it right and purposeful to share a resource at the end of the presentation for anyone that wants to further learn the ropes of project management to be able to take a 6-month course at no charge. So by the time I am done with today's presentation, I would attempt in no particular order to list or share certain cost-effective solutions that you may be able to capitalize on in your project management, the importance of AI in project management, and some of the tools as it is we can actually really use project management and its challenges, and definitely the introduction on project management. So for anyone who probably may have heard about project management and not have actually read anything concerning project management, this little introductory in about the next 2 minutes to give you an idea what really project management is all about, so that we can all be on the same page. But even before I delve into what it's project management, by the Harvard Business School review, where I had my source or data from, it has been estimated that over $48 trillion are invested into projects yearly, and we only see about 35% of projects which are considered to be successful. This can really be alarming, and there may be certain things as it is that, if not paid critical attention to, will mean that irrespective of how much money or resources that may be pumped into a project, we may actually see the projects failing, even though this statistics is under contention by different parties, as it has been stated that to be able to measure the success of a project, there are different factors that actually can come to play, and you can actually not measure the success of a project in probably in the Western world as compared to other part of the continent. So project management, as it is, we may have its definition to just be a process of applying skills, knowledge, tools, and techniques to project activity to meet the project requirements. And in all this, it involves planning, organization, sourcing for resources, monitoring the progress, controlling risk, communicating, especially and importantly with your team members and also the stakeholders. And then one that actually we would capitalize on today will be collaborating among your teams to be able to see the success of the projects, whatsoever as it is you may be working on. As it is, you can see, with us mentioning you either applying your skills and knowledge among other techniques. One will have to monitor the progress, control risks. You have to look for or secure resources, organize. This can actually be daunting, and if care is not taken, as it is, we said, only 35% of such projects might see its success. Among all this and any other stuff as it is, we have also challenges. Definitely, to be able to even see the success of a project, there are certain challenges as it is you may need to overcome to make the project as it is you want to be able to have. And any project as it is you may want to embark on would definitely go through this, but not limited to 5 standard phases as it is you may see after the success or the end of the project phase, which is the closing phase of the project, which will definitely be the 5th stage as it is I have on my screen. Even before that, you will need to be able to initialize a project, and in initializing a project, it involves a couple of things. We need to be able to set the purpose and then goals that need to be achieved. All those things need to be actually set clearly from the onset. Without some of these things, we may actually see certain bottlenecks. We need to be able to also include, but not limited to, some of the outlines of the project as it is. We need to be able to have the scope or the tour, very critical objectives as it is I've already mentioned. Stakeholders never need to be missed out in any case of that matter. Then the next phase will definitely be planning. where you will need someone we may refer to as the project manager. The project manager will be tasked in detailing the plan for the project by actually carving out what we call outlines. And all these outlines are supposed to be performed in accompanying with timelines, so that actually based on those timelines, we can actually demand what we may use as a measuring tool as the KPIs to demand certain resources. Those timelines meeting completion would also require the project manager to be able to either look at all the resources that are required, including either budgeting and then all the potential risks as it is we may have on the project phase. This phase aims to establish clearly the roadmap for the entire project as it is we want to be able to have. Execution as it is we have it. It's just that phase that is actually breaking the grounds for whatever success as it is we deem to be able to achieve from the one. Resources are here to be allocated to the teams, and they are supposed to be informed. And then task execution according to the plan that has been set from the beginning, either the initial stage and then the planning stage. And then effective communication, which is crucial during these phases, cannot be overlooked. So execution, or the execution phase of any project as it is we have, is set to kick, as it is called, the main part or the main meat of the project rolling. Then what would be the most important parts to either see how the project is going or not, why you notice that are coupled monitoring and controlling. These are two things that need to be able to go hand in hand. The progress is regularly monitored to ensure that project is on track. If not, if everything is left ajar, we might just assume, or there might be assumption that people are playing their roles as it is they need to be able to play, whilst it will be the other side of the story. There'll be key tracking of the performance indicators, as I mentioned earlier on, and then comparing the actual progress as it is we have on ground and whatsoever as it is we may have planned on paper, and if there are any necessary adjustments as it is we need to be able to have going forward, it is allowed in project management, and we are able to curve this during the monitoring and controlling phases of any project. The last phase, which will be the success phase, or which anybody may actually call the closing phase of any projects, and its objectives will be to formally close and close properly the project in any capacity of whosoever is on whichever project, to be able to either share or obtaining customer or stakeholder acceptance in releasing the project resources as it is we may have it. In running us through the main 5 phases of project management, it leads me to the next big topic that is most mentioned in any project that can actually be a bottleneck or can actually touch the success or the progress of any project. I've listed these few, but not limited to resource management, communications issues, critical risk management, team collaboration, most critical for me on any project, technology and its tools that actually needs to be used. The technological tools that any projects might deploy can actually also help in accelerating the success of the projects or not. So you have to really have keen eye or pay critical attention to whichever technology or tools as it is you may want to deploy on any project. It may not be because maybe that's one of the tools that either your previous company may have been using. So you want to think that you want to bring that same either workflow or technology into a new project as it is, you want to be able to have, you would need to understand why you want to use a tool and then the technology for that matter. Some of these challenges, which I'm just going to pick and choose so that we don't waste so much time and have enough time in delving with other matters, will be the scoping. This would occur, on work that the work involved expands beyond its original definition. So there might be certain instances where there are variations or whatsoever as it is we may have. And if there are unclear requirements or changing requirements for communication between stakeholders, inadequate planning or estimation, this can actually resolve as having a great bottleneck into whatsoever project as it is we may be facing. So for scopes or for tours, they need to be clearly written out to set the blueprints as it is we may want to have the project meeting whatsoever target as it is we want to be able to have them meet. We need to communicate them effectively to care for some of these challenges that may exist and monitor vigorously, control all changes closely. We can look at poor communication, which I keep hammering. Once we don't have communication, there will be a lot of misunderstanding that can bring frustration among the team members. And then delays. The causes could be that, again, there is no clear communication channels that have actually been listed or inadequate updates on the project. There might be cultural differences as it is we have, or using different communication styles. And so once all these things are actually clarified from the onset, then you are sure that you may somehow, if not eliminate, curve some of the challenges even before they happen. Again, for communication, we need to set every communication protocol as clear as possible, encourage open and honest communication, use tools that are effective, right, on the projects. We can have maybe inadequate resources. Definitely you can bear with me what inadequate resources is going to cost, as definitely there will be delaying, lack of risk management would cause not enough time spent on risk identifying and assessment. Lack of this plan, not having a contingency plan in place could actually resolve, again, you notice I keep using one word, bottlenecks. So bottlenecks can actually be a hindrance or a hinder to a lot of success as it is we may be able to have on a project, irrespective of the fact that you may have great KPIs as it is you are following, despite the fact that you may even have a good project manager. Once you are not having effective communication, you are not using good tools, you are not collaborating well, definitely there's nothing as it is you can do but to meet bottlenecks that would be a blockade to the success as it is you want to be able to have. We can have quality assurance, which I don't have on the list, but team collaboration to attempt to wrap as this will be building and maintaining the cohesive, productive project team in whatsoever as it is you want to be able to do. Try to bring everybody, even though you might not have that 100%, but being able to have majority of the team understanding and being cohesive and maintaining that would solve a lot of problems on a project. Challenger tools, which will be one of the major things as it is we would delve in today, and seeing how to choose certain major tools. Like as Lisa said, choosing the wrong technical tool can actually also affect whatsoever item as it is you want to be able to have done. And now coming to this page, I would want to entreat anyone what it is they think or imagine if we do not implement a good project management workflow or be able to choose either any of the challenges as it is we may have mentioned in some of the previous slides. What do you think may be some of those challenges, or why do you foresee to be able to happen? You can actually share some of those concerns in the chat so that we get interactive and see what it is you are imagining. Away from that, I'll move to my next slide, which is collaborative tools, which I keep hammering on and stating for me on any project, despite the fact that all other indicators are important. Being or using a great collaborative tool on any project matters a lot, irrespective of how you want to do it, whether it's remote or in person. So collaborative tools are very important. I'll list some of them as it is we may have. I will not be able to exhaust the entire list, just to be able to give us an idea of some of those tools that actually exist, which we may not even know. So collaborative tools, or which may also be called collaboration tools, are software or applications or platforms that are designed to facilitate and then enhance teamwork and communication within a team, irrespective of the location where it is they may be located. Like I said earlier, either they are remote, whether they are dispersed across the country or even the continents. There are importance of why collaborative tools needs to be paid attention to in any project as it is you may have. Is one, it ensures effective communication. It facilitates real time, reduces delay, and fostering quick and decision making on whatsoever projects you may have on. It supports various communication channels such as either video conferencing, documentation, and editing. Okay, the next will be improves team productivity. Once you are collaborating and using right collaborating tools, the productivity of the team would be improved. You're able to streamline the workflow, task management. You reduce the likelihood of duplication of effort in whatsoever task as it is you may have had. It gives the great eye of helps the team members to be able to keep an eye on the same documents, where you have the same documents at the same place for every other person to be able to see. When there are changes, you're able to catch those changes in no time. It also encourages creativity. Once you see whatsoever any other person is doing, you may be able to know where to catch up, where to meet some of those things as it is we may have. There may be a list of collaborative tools even before I mention or talk about the open source tools. Because I am open source bias, I want to start with some of the open source tools as it is you can have or use for your project management. Open source basically are just tools or applications or software that are free for you to use at no charge. If you have the technical skills, you are allowed to be able to customize even those platforms to suit you in whichever regards as it is you want to be able to have them. Open source applications and software are free to copy, free to redistribute or modify. Why I am starting with the open source applications first, then I'll move to the free versions, but not open source, and then some of the proprietary ones, smaller organizations, or the world popular known ones as this we could have. Even before talking about that, we could have tools for remote work. They could be applications or platforms like Slack. If you've not heard about Slack before, it's just SLACK. Slack is a great platform a messaging app that is designed to allow teams to communicate among themselves and also PowerShare. We have different permission levels or different strategic pricing level for whosoever assets you want to use. If you're using the free version, you may have limited space. Once you meet those space assets you have, you may need to upgrade. We could have Google Drive, which I would attempt to quickly show us how to use Google Drive for project management. It's still very interesting to know that in the digital age in which we are, people still don't know some of these basic digital tools as it is we can use to be able to facilitate the easy workflow as it is you may want to be able to have achieved in whatsoever project as this you may be on. Google actually gives us a bunch of applications we can actually help, even though it does not manage or automate most of the processes, depending on the capacity of the project on which you are. Google Drive can actually be a great resource for us to be able to use. We can now use either workflow management, where we want to be able to now manage the flow of how things are happening by either providing boards or cards and tracking things so that we are not duplicating effort. There are great ones like Asana, which now is used in project management, but not workflow. You can have those differences. Why in majority of the times, I'd always encourage that whoever the project manager is really understand the project and not just the application of what it is they want to be able to have done. And then you can have a combination of multiple platforms to your advantage. So the next one, which I am looking at for giving us a resource which I want to share in the bar in the chat. So if we go to the open source solutions, I've listed more than 6 of them. Number 4 is an alternative to projects, Microsoft projects. If you already used to Microsoft projects or Microsoft 360, you can actually use number 4 to be able to have that flexibility of things as it is you already know. And all these applications or resources that I'm sharing here are all free. You can use them as no charge. Point number 1, which is open project. Open projects gives you, again, that open sourceness and a powerful, comprehensive platform which features like tax with a combination of other solutions. If you are already in the project management industry, like time management, like boards and cards, like the Kanbans, the charts and reporting, you're able to have all these in one place. And like I said, this application is free for you to be able to use. There is a community version as it is you can actually run through, and then also an enterprise version. There's a Tiger version, which is mainly a bit lightweight, depending on what it is you want to be able to have done, and then obeys the agile project management tool, focusing on Scrum and then Kanban. This methodology actually gives you the stories. If you are not familiar with Kanban, which Kanban is a Japanese way of work of flow that was adapted in building this application, where there are boards or cards that are issues to track whatsoever item that happens on the go. You're able to have all this in the application whatsoever. And these are all great alternatives to most proprietary applications that you might need to heavily pay monies for to be able to take advantage of them. So you can take a screenshot of same. If you find any interesting and you want any assistance on how to use them, you can always reach out to me pay attention and be on the catch for my email at the last page of this presentation, and I will always come to your assistance. You can always also come to the American Corner space to seek assistance from the team in person. I'll go to the top, not advertising for any of this applications, or should I say majority or the most used solutions in project management, depending on what it is you want to be able to have done. If you are a marketing team, if you're a construction company, if you're a software development company, you always have to find that application that best suits you. We can have what we call the Click Ads, which has enormous or has been designed well for team management and collaborating on works as it is they want to be able to do. Be able to have multiple steps flow in one place. They have great features like the flexibility of project time tracking. You're able to keep an eye and assign tasks to the team as it is. You want to have even subtasks if you so wish. You can chat at the same time in the platform. This, for smaller organizations, you can have a free plan forever. Or once you want to be able to have an unlimited plan, begin to pay $5 USD per an account on the platform. We can have what it is we called Monday, right? Which is also a great platform that brings visualization and then coloring if you are one who likes a lot of colors. Monday also gives you that beautification for you to be able to have access to. If you want to try Monday out, it's just monday.com and almost things as it is you have. Then we'd have Asana, which is most popular in, but pre-the amendments, I may be wrong, but I've seen a lot of projects use Asana or Jira. These are two platforms that I have used myself, but not to put any over the other, because for whatsoever purpose I may have used on whatsoever team or projects on which I was working on, both of them work perfectly for the project you want to work on. Asana gives you a solution for organizing all the projects as it is you want to be able to have, and its processes, tools for integrations are widely available. You can actually integrate into either Zoom or Google Drive, and any application as it is, their APIs allows you to be able to call in. Asana also gives you a beautiful categorizations, either using a color scheme and then automations, which some may not be able to provide for you. You can actually have a basic plan again at no cost. Then there is Rick, which also gives us a good collaborative platform, again, designed for teams to prioritize and manage any tasks as it is they so wish to be able to have. There is time management. You're able to assign again or using the Kanban boards to allow complete visibility of tasks, okay, for what you may be working on. There is the Trello, Slack I've already mentioned. There is Jira. All that it is I mentioned, you can just type them out. Jira is a Jira for you to be able to see them. For me not to waste too much time on this, you can have teamwork. You would have, like I made mention already, you can actually use Smartsheet or Google to be able to manage that project as it is you want to be able to have managed, depending on what it is you want to be able to achieve. There is Trello, which is just TRELLO. You can search it out to be able to have them. It is critical and important for us to always research on what we want to do and experiment on different platforms before you may dive into any of them for you to use. The next slide will be the resource as it is I am sharing for today, that if you find yourself to either be a project manager but without the licensing for PMP, right, you can take advantage of this Google paid course, which is at no charge to you. You can register for the course for free. As much as the course is a paid course, Google has actually taken care of the financial burden once you require or you request for a financial assistance for the project. So when you visit the link as it is I have here, you are able to see the course, which if I may not have mentioned, it's a 6 months course for you to vigorously go through. You can actually do this at your own pace and then take every course one at a time. This is a Google certification at the end of the course for you to be able to have, and then encourages you to follow some of the best practices as it is you may have on any projects as it is you may be working on. So take notes. If you want to take a screenshot of the screen, you are allowed to take it. You can share it to as many friends or colleagues as it is you may have, to benefit not you alone, but to your network at large. My next slide, like I mentioned, if you have any further questions, you may reach out to me at malto@stevedoc.com, or I live on the internet at Steve Doc on Twitter or now X. You can ask me a question as it is you so wish for me to help you answer. I am happy to provide you that assistance. Moving away from that, I don't know if I am allowed to quickly teach the Google Drive and how to be able to use some of those solutions in achieving project management tools that are available for people who do not know currently already exists, just because they already have a Gmail. If not, I can attempt to take certain questions and then we can delve into that as well. Advise me, Esther.
Thank you so much, Malto. We have a lot of participants on board, and we thank you all for, stating the fact that you are here. We would love to have your questions, so you can just drop your comments or your questions in the chat box, and it will be well addressed. But I think we can just go on with what you want to share. Then after that, we can take the questions from there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Excel, for giving the go ahead on that. So like I mentioned, today was just to show us some of these tools that are available to us that we may not know exist. Today was not to pick and train on any of the platforms that it is you may have for project management skills or purposes. Maybe in the future, we may have a particular session to either dive into any of the most used open source project management platform or tool for people to be able to have a hands-on feel on SIM. But in the conversation, as it is that led us into this presentation, we would want to wrap it up by just sharing, maybe some of us may have already known of it, how to use what we would call Google Spaces to help any small organization, maybe a startup, to manage those projects as it is you want to be able to have done. Because all the platform as it is I have mentioned in my other slides also need some amount of learning curve. Some of them are steeper than the other. Some of them are a bit easy to go to. Once you give it a little bit of attention, you are able to go through that. So Google actually provides enormous applications or apps for us to one way somehow try to collaborate on any project as it is you want to be able to project. I'm going to use the word advisedly, collaborate, but not to project manage, because there are two different things in project management, right? So in attempting to showcase what the Google Workspace actually provides to us is not to write out the management tools which you might need in whatsoever you wish to be able to have done. So Google gives us what it is we may already know as Excel, Word, PowerPoint, for collaborating purposes or for video conferencing. You can actually have Google Meet, you can have Google Chat, Google Calendar, Google Forms, Google Keep. So Google Keeps are just basically you being able to keep your notes or being able to have your notes online, and irrespective of the device on which you connect on, you're able to still have access to those notes. Google Forms are used in creating, there are times you actually see people sending you survey forms. Those are just basically Google Forms. They are easy to use. You can actually use it in creating certain forms for whatever purpose as it is you want to have. There are calendars one way or the other, even though we do not have automations, right? You can use Google Calendar to be able to track or remind yourself on some of the tasks or things you want to be able to have done, so that in one way, that will be an eye for you on the project to either call for an update for one person or the other. If there were meetings, you can actually add them to your calendar to be able to have seen. I'm not going to waste my time on Google Chat because as much as certain people might use it for Teams, because of the dawn of a lot of messaging, people rather prefer other alternatives to wanting to use Google Chat. There is Google Meet that gives you a great place to actually connect lightweight remotely with whoever you want to be able to have that meeting with, to save cost of traveling in meeting at the same location. The most powerful for me is Google Drive, that can keep most of these applications in one place for you and share the entire folder with your team, and giving people with access level that if the marketing team needs to only have access to a particular folder or file, you only add the team on the marketing segment or department to only that folder, and only them can actually see that folder or access the files in those folder. So I'm just going to quickly show us how those are, despite that they have some ups and downs. Like I mentioned, it is not to automate or assign tags, despite the fact that you can tag people in your documentations to state that you need to be able to pay attention to this or that. You do not want to confuse it with managing a project, but mostly for collaborating on the project and the project resources that needs to be available to you. So to be able to use Google to be able to use the Google Workspace, the first thing as it is you need to be able to have will be to have a Gmail account or an email which you sign up using Google, and then you actually good to go. A moment, and I'll share my screen again so we are all on the same page so that you can see what I am doing. Am I on the call, Estelle? I feel my
Yes,
Internet is
Martha, you
shaking.
are. Yes, you're on the
Okay, thank
call.
you
Yes.
for the confirmation. So, like I said, my share button. So once you have Gmail account, like I said, and you are logged into your Gmail account, when you come to the 9 dots as it is you have here, you can see all the applications or apps that are available to you to be able to have access to on any projects. There are other customizations you can actually really have. There is Jumbo, which you can use for brainstorming. Every team can actually collaborate on that. Once you type, every other person would see what you have. I'd mentioned Google Keep, Google Slide is just PowerPoint in the cloud. So what you would have had offline, like I'm saying, I'm using the Google Workspace to demonstrate to us how to collaborate among ourselves. So how do you easily go to Google Drive, which I say is the most important for me? You can come here as a newcomer and then just hit on Drive. Drive would take you to, let me see what I'm sharing first. Drive will take you to, Drive will take you to, okay, I think I'm safe to share. Your Drive will take you to your Drive as it is you may have here. You can have up to about 100 gig for about 9 cities or so for a month, or you can keep the 15 gig as it is Google provides for your defaults by you just creating an account. So once you create a Google account, Google gives you about 15 gig online cloud storage space for you to do whatsoever you want to be able to have done. So this is your drive space. People call it your pen drive on the internet or in the cloud. You're able to save or store whatsoever you want to be able to have stored there and have access to them later, or invite people to be able to have access to same. So either you go to the 9 dots and click on Drive, or you can just easily, once you're already logged in, you can type drive, drive.google.com, and then it takes you directly into your Drive, right? You would see what I have here to be, just to switch my account, what I have here to be folders of either different projects or things I may have worked on or I am on, and to be able to help organize whatsoever I want to have. I have created what we call folders for the individual items as it is I have, and I can actually manage what I want to be able to have done. You can create a new folder by just hitting the new button, and then things that are available to you, you can see from the drop down or the more button. So I'll first create a folder and then call them PNP, and then create. Once I create the folder, it comes up here. And this folder allows you to drop anything as it is you want to be able to have dropped here. And like I said, you can share with any other person as it is you want to be able to have shared with as well. So I'm just going to create a new file, Google Docs, and then call it test file or PNP test. This file, which I have created online, I can share it with as many people as it is I want to be able to have shared. So if we're having a project proposal writing, or even if you were a student and you guys are in a team of 4 and you're writing your project work, you can actually use Google Drive as a way to either collaborate among yourself and be able to see whatever changes as it is you may have. All you need to do will be to hit the share button, and then you can see your assets. You can invite whoever you want to be able to you can share you can actually share you can actually share your file or folder to any person you want to be able to have shared with based on the restriction as it is you have. You can say anybody with this link should be able to have access to the folder as it is you have, either the person should view or have editing access. I'm just going to give it editing access and copy, add anybody's email here, and the person has access. So I'm just going to share this link with all of us. Anybody can jump on it and then type whatever they want to be able to type, and we'll see it in real time. So Kukwa, since we are running out of time, you can easily help me type anything you want to be able to type for the audience to see that we can all collaborate on the same documents at the same time. Hello, Kukwa.
Hi, Malto. Yeah, so
I've shared it in the chat section.
oh, okay.
Just click, you can share it to the public as well for anybody to jump on it. They are free to jump on it.
Right, okay.
To see that they're able to use Google Workspace to be able to collaborate on the same document. And every change that happens is actually real time. So if Kukwa was to type anything right now on the document, we would see the changes happen in real time. Kukwa, I'm waiting for you to start typing on the document.
Okay. Sure, just a minute.
So irrespective of the number of persons or people on the documents, you actually see them on. So right now, because I have not added Kukwa by email, I see her as anonymous, and you see her typing on the document as it is I am that. And this gives you that collaborative edge to be able to collaborate on the same document. So you can actually delete whatever I have typed. Can you delete the sentence I have typed since I have my hand in my video so that you can see that? So that is Kukwa deleting what it is I have typed. It gives you that flexibility of editing what you want to be able to have edited. You can have Excel if you want to. So which normal Excel you have on your desktop and be able to perform same functionalities as it is you would have on, and all gives you that collaborative edge. Again, if I share this link the same way I share the first one, either by adding the email or inviting the people by allowing anybody to join by that link, anybody else can also type on this. The last one would be the PowerPoint. Then we can take questions. Okay, when you go to PowerPoint presentations, so these are just what you call presentations. They're just like a PowerPoint. You can add different stylings to it. If you want to be able to have their default stylings as this, you want to be able to have onto this. You can present this from any part of the world. Importantly, anytime I have any presentation in any conference, I try to put my presentation in Google Slide. The advantage for me is that even if it is not with my machine, there's been time where my machine did not work when I was about to present, so I learned my lesson. So in case I get the ones there is internet, I am able to present, from any other person's machine, so far as I can log into my Gmail and have access to my Drive. It is same for the forms even to be able to have. So you notice that everything as it is I am creating actually are being collated into the folder as it is we have it. I can create a form and create any form as it is I want to be able to have as well. The learning curve for the Google Workspace is very minimal once you know how to use the basic office manipulation tools, example like the Microsoft Office suite or the LibreOffice on open source.
Hi, Malta.
You are able to do so. So thank you. I'm done for the day. I don't know if there are questions, if you've not missed the time.
Yeah, we have just a few minutes to wrap up, and thank you so much for the insightful journey. Thank you for how engaging you have made this session and the amazing resources that you have shared. With the time we have, I don't know if we can take any short question, or I'm just reading through our questions to see if you can. And somebody asked they couldn't find finance in their dots, the 4 dots. Why? I mean, you can quickly do that and then we can just wrap up. The person said to the 4 dots.
So let me just open the links myself. And just quickly just show that if I'm on the right page here. So this is the page. When you launch on the page, you should see the page like this. Over 1 million people have already, 1.3 million have already enrolled in this course. If I zoom the page for you to see, you see financial aid available for this. So once you sign up for your Coursera account, you can actually just apply for the financial aid, and then you'll be able to state the reason why they should provide you with your financial aid, and then you can go ahead and enjoy the course on Google, and Google will take care of the course for you.
All right, Malta. Thank you so much. I think we have a very short time left, and so we can look at doing more sessions and taking all the tools one by one, and then you can take us through all those processes. Sometimes we know that it's how difficult to navigate your way around these tools. And so thank you so much once again for being such an insightful facilitator and then giving us amazing resources as always to go to after the sessions are over. So thank you also to our participants for joining us today. Thank you for your comments. You made it engaging. Thank you so much for joining us today. But before ending today's program, I want to introduce you to an amazing online resource that you may find helpful. This is the eLibrary USA. The eLibrary USA is the state-of-the-art digital library with 9 premier electronic databases that include digital newspapers, magazines, journals, videos, and dissertations. So this resource is only available to use in person at our American spaces. With the global pandemic, we are opening up access to this amazing resource. If you are interested, you can sign up using the link that can be found in the comment section, or you can pass by American Corner at Boba to have access to this amazing resource. So this program was proudly brought to you by the U.S. Embassy Ghana, American Corner at Boba, in partnership with Mobile Web Ghana. And that concludes our program. Do have a great weekend and see you again in the next session.